when I'm dead and gone, I won't be worried about that.
That's actually an amazing segue to the actual, I think, is the overarching crazy theme of the folk opera. Is when you're dead and gone, none of us, we all have expiration dates, we know that. We don't know when it is, but none of us get out of this world alive. But our art definitely transcends our time.
Should I do like an official start to the thing?
Yeah, I figured we were already doing it.
Cool. Yeah, well, I figured
That's why I thought you were recording everything, because some of the best, the nuggets, they're out there.
Let's have a nice little official start to this thing here. Hello, neighbors, and welcome back to the channel here. I'm with my buddy Mickey Abraham, and he has completed a massively epic project called The Folk Opera with the amazingly talented Kathryn Belle Long. And Mickey, would you like to introduce what this is to the neighbors that might not know about it?
Right on, Chris. It's great to see you. Always an honor to be on your channel. I've been working on this album for years and years. Circumstances on releasing it are nothing like the original plans. I guess we'll get a little bit into that. The craziest part is that the main character doesn't make it to the end of the folk opera. And Kathryn wrote all that before she knew that she was sick.
That is so bonkers. So
it's
for the folks
insane.
that don't know, Kathryn passed way before her time.
Just weeks before finishing the recording, Chris.
What was the situation of her passing?
Brain cancer.
Just unfathomably tragic and awful.
It was. Sitting here, it's been exactly 3 years, and it's still completely unfathomable to me. Kathryn seemed above the fray to people, and I could tell, obviously for her friends and family and myself, it's been life-changing beyond belief, but I could also tell that in the community, it still does, 3 years later, takes people's breath away when they know what happened to Kathryn, because it just seems like that shouldn't happen to someone who's almost like a real-life Disney princess.
Oh, was she from Tallahassee? That's where she was living, right?
Yeah, she wrote a song called Tallahassee that is the official song of the city of Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm so glad that happened.
And that one also won first place Best Florida Song from the Will McLean Folk Foundation.
Yeah.
I remember playing that song for you years ago when we recorded it like a decade ago, and it kind of shows that the folk opera was even a thing then, because do you remember what you said when I played you the song Tallahassee? Sounds like Disney.
Yeah, Disney, Disney grass, Disney folk, music, and to me, this is, what you've done here with this album, what y'all have done, is invented a completely new genre. And it's not easy to take elements from two different places and get the best of both worlds. But how did the arc of the story begin? Like, was it one song that kind of got it going, and then that kind of one led to the next, or was it like kind of more like a storyboard that y'all kind of brainstormed the story, like from knowing the beginning?
We did have a storyboard. We did talk about the story a lot. We would do even like retreats in the woods to talk about the storyline, to get away and turned our phones off to write folk opera stuff. The first part of Act 1, the main character's not even born yet. Her father is clearly at war, and he sings about his mother being proud of him for being a soldier, and there's definitely a war theme and a family theme and tradition theme. And then about halfway towards the beginning of Act 1, the main character is born. We end up hearing about civil unrest, and all this was written before the COVID shutdowns and stuff. A lot of the stuff we were writing about ended up becoming true, so much that we would joke about that we should write a song about winning a lot of money, or actually the joke was, Kathryn, you know what we should write about? And I'm like, yeah, like world peace, and she's like, no, winning a lot of money, or something like that. Because all the songs that we were writing were kind of coming true in a weird way. We find about these revolutionists that are hunting down military families, foreshadowing some of the events, because what ends up happening is we know that her parents are military, so eventually it comes to a head, and they find her family, they kill her parents. The parents knew this day would come because they had the car ready with cash and her guitar. She's a songwriter in the folk opera. They're like, get in the car, go. All your stuff is there. We knew this was going to happen. So she runs away, and her parents die, and her house gets destroyed. And that's the end of Act 1. Wow. So now she's kind of like an adolescent or a teenager or a young adult, and she's on her own. Her parents are dead. She's away from home. And she ends up meeting some friends in a bar and befriends them. There's a love interest there, and that's like Act 2 has a whole different vibe. And then, right, you're like, man, I didn't know all this. I gotta hear the album.
It's just hitting on my radar. Just to take a quick little detour, that I've been playing with Sean Camp, and he's got this album called The Ghost of Sis Draper, which is totally cinematic from one end to the other. And like there are no other bluegrass albums that I know that have this like huge scope of a story from beginning to end. And I think it's so cool. And of course, this isn't like a straight bluegrass album. And maybe concept albums are generally more well known, or just the idea gets batted around and completed in other genres more. But I just think it's so cool to have this huge story as one album.
It feels good to have a completed piece of artwork, and it's not just fragmented, and it's definitely not like a 30-second Instagram reel, which is like, I'm giving people 2 hours of homework. This is not like shred a solo and then flip to the next Instagram reel. Like, it only makes sense if you listen to the whole thing to kind of make sense out of it.
Yeah.
I left out a big part of the story, which is that she's guided by the voices of her deceased grandmothers. They talk to her.
Cool.
One of the meaning of the word voices. It's called Voices, a folk opera.
Yeah.
So she's guided by these voices that talk to her and guide her in life. And the voices are always telling her that we'll be there when things get tough. We'll be there, we'll kind of guide you. When her parents die, she no longer hears the voices. These people she becomes friends with, they end up being the people that killed her parents. They end up being the revolutionists. At that point, they come looking for these people that killed her parents, the other side, the Boards. The Boards are actually hunting, the same way they're hunting military families that killed her, the other side is looking for these revolutionists that are doing these terrible things.
Yeah.
They end up finding her and then thinking that she's the one who killed her own parents. So she gets framed and arrested.
Whoa.
Right? So
the plot thickens.
Yeah. There's there's some of the theme of it.
She goes to jail.
And of course, so she gets arrested and framed for killing her. And also there's some news broadcasts, and it foreshadows public executions. Fast forward to the end of Act 2, she is sentenced to death. Now, mind you, this was all written before Kathryn knew she was sick. So every story about this, writing it, coming up with it, everything about it, to me, takes a back seat to the unbelievably tragic reality that we were weeks away from wrapping the recording. When Kathryn got the news that she was diagnosed with inoperable, she was basically given a death sentence. It's unfathomable to leave it to her to live this life. It's hard for me to tell people that, I don't really understand. It's been 3 years, and I still don't really understand how life imitates art and art imitates life.
It's really freaking eerie.
And she was the healthiest, most amazing. You knew her. I mean, filtered water, organic vegetables. She's up in early class doing 5:30 bar classes. Super mindful of her health and her mental and physical health.
Yeah.
And then obviously was not very healthy at that point. Before she gets killed, maybe she doesn't get killed. Let me back up a second.
Right.
She gets taken out to be executed. There's a character named the Guard who turns out fought with her dad in the war at the beginning of the folk opera, and he ends up.
That's such good writing.
Thanks, Chris. He ends up being like the savior type of character because he has been following her and keeps keeping up with her, even though he's kind of working for the other side at this point. But I guess he's on her side. Both sides are wrong and right at the same time. If you know Kathryn, she was torn between those things, as we all are in real life. And again, like, you look at, like, is this about today exactly? And it's like, no, this actually was written years ago, but it models, I guess, all times, really, of like, no, nothing is actually black or white, and Kathryn was very, very aware of this.
Yeah.
So he slips her the guitar. Before she goes out, he has her dad's guitar that was given to her, and when they arrest her and take her in, he has the guitar, and he passes her the guitar and says, "Listen, before they kill you, just sing your song, because then maybe you can make a difference in the world."
Whoa.
Dude, there's even lines in here, like this is her handwriting. Live now as long as you have breath to sing. Like, this is in the folk opera, written before she knew she was sick.
It's unbelievable. the whole thing is mind-blowing, and I don't have the right words to even like begin to comprehend it, except just that it makes for exceptionally powerful art. When does the album come out?
June 18th. I'm doing pre-orders now on Bandcamp. Pre-order it now. I will mail it to you, ship it to you myself personally. I feel like once people hear it and see it and touch it, it's going to take on a life of its own. It makes people cry, you know, like even if they've never met Kathryn, like there has an emotional reaction to these songs.
Well, I just want to take a moment to honor you, buddy, and the heart and soul, the blood, sweat, and tears, and years that you devoted to making it all turn out in this fantastic way. I feel like you've honored Kathryn fully in the most beautiful way with this. I know that from conversations years ago, you really wanted to keep the quality control up, and you done that, man.
It means a lot that you say that, man. You have no idea, bro.
I appreciate, as much as I can, the magnitude of what this is in your life and what it is in the community and in the world at large, because there's something going on with this the creative power of this energy that I don't think anybody really understands. It's spooky, and it's tragic, and it's beautiful, and it is art at its like finest, like just beyond comprehension.
I had a great time, almost like feeling like the Beatles or Pink Floyd, because it was the exact opposite of doing a live bluegrass record. We got to really hone in on different kind of recording techniques, which...
And you might have said his name earlier. Who was the engineer?
His name is Chris Culp, and the name of the studio is Log Cabin Studio, and he's done tons of the best work here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I remember you sent me some early mixes, and I was just really impressed with the tones and the polish of it, even at that unfinished state.
Yeah. At the end of the lick, that little gap right here, pause. It kind of makes the A and the D have a little melody onto its own. Oh. So I would take her songs and do this with them to the nth degree, start layering them and put intros and outros. And
you have achieved something that has never been done before. If you were going to think about like what are some of the things that you'd like to see happen with it, like best case scenario, what would that look like? Like you thinking like, I mean, because obviously it could be a movie.
We were definitely inspired by winning the Emmy, and I think that definitely inspired us to see what could we do, you know, and I think Kathryn saw herself winning also a Grammy and a Tony, and by the end of her life would have done the whole thing. If this was entered into the Grammy Awards, I'm not gonna say, you know, I feel like it's original enough that maybe it could get nominated. Her heart and soul is on there, and my heart and soul is on there too, but without her, half the heart and soul is not there. So I'm trying to like figure out how to do this thing without her.
The right like Hollywood person, how do you get there? You know, maybe we'll look back at this interview in a couple years and and be like, you know, see the machinations of the universe at work. But even if, you know, it doesn't go on to the Grammy and the Tony and the Hollywood and all that, you have done your work, buddy.
Thanks. I kind of feel that too, that
Totally.
It's just a success to have the product of what it is.
Yeah. You made art in a way that's never happened before. Throughout the massively unexpected dynamics of life, that you were able to persevere, get it to the finish line, and it looks amazing. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to hear the whole thing, and I'm sure glad that we got a chance to talk about it, because like it's epic, and like I like epic stuff, and I appreciate epic stuff that's like never been done before, and it takes big dreaming power, and it takes big spiritual manifestation powers to like get it to the finish line. It's no joke. Like, it's one thing to have the idea, you know, on a moonlit night down by the river. It's another thing to put 8 years into it and have it in your hands.
Amen, brother. Thanks for letting me plug it to your awesome YouTube audience. Next time we do a video, we'll do a lesson again. I know this was a little different for a Chris video talking about the album, but the next one we'll do Dogatonics 2. We'll do some, you know, we'll definitely get back to the instruction stuff.
There's so much instruction here. You know, this is like, you know, this isn't, you know, how do you play the pentatonic cool stuff over, you know, Lonesome Fiddle Blues. This is like, how do you dream something up and complete it stem to stern on a world-class, like, never been done before level. This is still plenty of instruction, you know, to learn from. I
should have gotten Razzle Dazzle to make a cameo in the folk opera. Speaking of creativity, I see that, and I'm like, this you are also a never-ending well of creativity in so many ways, and has been an inspiration to me my whole career.
I appreciate that, man.
Of course.
We've always had a serendipitous, you know, resonance with our journeys, you know, from the first day when you come over to the Florida Folk Festival with my grandmother. I was sitting there talking to you, and you're like, yeah, I rode over with a lady from Tallahassee. I was like, oh, yeah. Who's that? It turned out it was my grandmother. And then we were down by the river, probably.
True story.
Into some rabbit tobacco or something. I can't remember what was going on that day. But,
True story. Yeah, Chris and I go back way before YouTube, way before MySpace, way before Facebook. We were real life picking friends in the real life, in another universe, another generation.
So thank you so much, Mickey, for visiting with us here today, and look forward to what the folk opera voices, the folk opera is going to, how it's going to grow in the world. And just congratulations on completing this epic work of love and art with your beautiful Kathryn. Yeah.
Thanks for everything. Always an honor to be on your channel, Chris. Namaste.
So welcome, buddy. Namaste.